Hello and welcome all. Welcome to the aftermarket analysis session as usual. This is the aftermarket analysis session for the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty, where we look at the order flow after Nifty and Bank Nifty close to see what confirmations we observed today, where buyers were interested, where sellers were interested, and what happened today, and where. If you are new and want to learn order flow and want to learn how to use the footprint effectively, you can join this webinar daily at 5:30 p.m. The link to this webinar is uploaded on the GoCharting Telegram and Discord community before 5 p.m. And if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, you will also find the link in the top right corner here. Okay. In any case, if you missed this recording, sorry. If you're unable to join the live webinar, you can also find the recording of this webinar on the YouTube channel. On all GoCharting YouTube channels, the recording is uploaded in the same language as the particular language of that YouTube channel. Links to all YouTube channels are provided in the description. Okay, let's look at the levels. What kind of confirmation regarding the volume profile was before us? Okay, there was a simple confirmation of the volume profile. This was the value area. Okay, we marked these because yesterday, the day before, and even before that, this session, a zone was emerging from all these sessions. Okay, so we marked this. If it broke to the downside, there was this level, and to the upside, this was the opposition zone of the previous session, and these were some volume profile nodes from the previous session. So the main point where Nifty closed yesterday, this was its level. Now we will see where buyers were found today based on the confirmation of these volume profiles, where sellers were found, and how buyers and sellers formed combinations. Okay. Before reading the footprint properly, we will find out on what delta is, because with the help of delta, we are going to see where buyers are interested, where sellers are interested, and how can things happen. Okay, look at the first candle. What is the delta of this first candle? 3,000. Okay, now how is this delta formed? This is the first candle. It's a red candle, but boss, there is nothing called selling inside it. Order flow alerts us in this way as well. It's the first candle. What is its delta? 3,000 means 3,000. Here there are more buyers compared to sellers, and this is a positive delta. Okay, now how was this delta formed? Like this footprint, buyers are on the right side, sellers are on the left side. If I add all the buyers on the right side, assume their total is 1 lakh. Okay, and if I add the sellers on the left side, the total here is 97,000. So who is more here? How many more buyers? 3,000. So this is where the positive delta is indicated. Now what is this 3,000 more? Buyers. So a positive delta means there are that many more buyers. Now, let's take this candle. What happened here? Negative delta. So it means there are 4,000 more sellers in this particular candle compared to buyers in the box. So this is delta. Now pick any candle quickly. Look at that candle and see its delta. We can tell who is more powerful within that particular candle. For example, in a green candle, there are more buyers. In a green candle, there are more buyers. Look at this. It's a red candle, but there is no selling happening. What is delta? 2,000 positive delta means there are more buyers, 2,000. Okay, so now you can practice with some candles. Looking at the delta. Okay, look now. There are some candles whose delta is very low. Now let's talk about both negative and positive together. Like look at this, 5,000, 600, 900, 8,000, 10,000, 14,000. Okay, Again, 7,000 means their delta is very low. It's a normal thing that 10,000 buyers more, 11,000 sellers, 20,000 sellers more. And look at this candle. What is the delta of these candles? 54,000, 37,000, 89,000, again, 81,000, meaning some candles have a very low delta and some candles have a very high delta. So, the candles with a high delta. Generally, more buying and selling has occurred there. And those are the candles that in some way clarify the market's direction. So what do we need to do? We just need to follow these candles, boss. Because these candles, they have more potential to clarify the market's direction, and more buying and selling has occurred in them. Candles with less delta do not have that potential. Okay, so let's start reading from the first candle to see what happened today, where, and how. Okay. What is the delta of the first candle? Only 3,000. But boss, here the maximum delta is giving us a completely different confirmation. Now, assume that any candle with a delta of approximately 30 to 35,000 or more, we need to pick that candle. We look at their buying and selling zones. For example, what is the maximum delta of the first candle? 45,000. This means that at one point, there were a decent number of buyers and sellers within this candle. It means that at one point, there was buying of 45,000. And then sellers came in indicating that there was a significant transaction within this first candle. So we look at where those buyers were and where the sellers came in that zone. For instance, let's look at the buyers for a moment. Here, how will we read the buyer and seller? Like in the first candle, there are more buyers. Let's say in this candle, we will go towards the buyer's side and those. We went to the buyer's side and we'll look at the zone where the most buying occurred. Like look at this, 430, 95,000, 16,000. Now look at this, 36,000, 61,000. These two buyings are distinctly visible, and this is the zone where the most buying occurred if you mark that zone. Here you go. This is the zone where the most buying happened and the sellers entered. Okay, this was yesterday's value area high, this white line. Now, where did the order flow give confirmation on this line? Our entire focus should be on this, because zone here, there was a line, but the market gave confirmation a bit higher. What happened after that? The price stayed below it. No buying or selling. Light selling and a slight rejection from here. Selling, buying, selling, 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 selling. Selling means that initially buyers came in the first candle and then sellers returned, and the price also took a slight rejection from here. The market came back there. No buying activity, faced the resistance well. Again, no buying activity, faced the resistance, kept facing it, kept facing it, kept facing it, stayed sideways for a long time. But the good thing is, it stayed above the resistance. Okay? After that, it started taking rejection, and the target should be the value area low. Okay? A buying absorption occurred. Rejection was observed. From here, rejection kept coming, and very good selling continued. Like, look at this. Selling of 37K, selling of 37K, meaning selling occurred within these two candles. Look at which were the selling zones. Selling of 50K, I marked the selling with red to make it easier. Okay. If I cross out or remove the middle line, it will be understood even better. Now look at this. The first candle, which had a good negative delta of 54 do, saw selling activity jump on the sellers. This is that selling activity. The second candle had significant selling activity. This is that zone. Okay, but a support zone has also appeared below. Now this selling will either break or the selling will be absorbed. What happened? It broke to the downside, broke this support zone, and it didn't just break like that. It broke with very heavy selling. Negative delta of 1,89,000. Now this support zone has been broken. Let's delete it What happened here now, boss? Sellers entered with this candle. Selling activity took place. Again, selling activity occurred in this candle. The price got stuck there. It didn't break to the upside. And then this candle broke all the support zones. And inside this candle also, it made a good negative delta jump above the sellers. It went to the seller's side. Where is the most selling activity? 100K, 63K, and 72K. And if we look around 63K and 72K, this is the selling zone where aggressive sellers were repeatedly stepping in. And here finally they beat all the limit buyers. So this was the selling zone. A green candle formed on the pullback. But look at the delta, simple delta. What confirmation is the delta giving? That there is no buying activity. Tapped downside momentum. No selling activity. In fact, such a bullish candle has formed, but there is heavy selling. Very heavy selling. The price has gone downside. Again, we saw quite a significant amount of selling, but still, the selling activity around or after 3 gold PM doesn't decrease much because maybe some people who are in the market all day square off their positions. Okay, so what confirmation did Nifty give today? It gave two very simple confirmations. First, a buying occurred. It got stuck right there. Buying absorption happened. Second, aggressive sellers came. There was a pullback and a sharp downside. It went right up to the next support zone. Okay, that was Nifty for today. And we also saw quite a good performance in Bank Nifty today. Bank Nifty performed even better. In the first candle, the same buying occurred. If I mark that buying zones, this is the buying zone. Okay. It got stuck at the pullback. They kept getting stuck. There were some buying attempts here as well. Okay, but it only went up once and came back down, so there was no breakout anywhere. The same zone held here with selling. It started taking rejection. Similarly, there was selling here as well. Look at this. A selling delta of 29,000 and the highest selling zone with 14,000 selling and 30,000 selling. Look at this. Okay. If anyone cannot see the numbers in red and green color on the YouTube channel, please feel free to comment. Okay. Again, it got stuck there. Look, there is a selling of 30K. Reading the delta up to this point, there was no buying. By O2.10, a selling of 35 was observed. No buying by O2.10. Even further, this buying interest is very low. Look at this. A selling of 30K with very little buying of 88K. As soon as resistance was faced, all the buying disappeared. And there was another downside movement. Okay, the same with Bank Nifty. Nifty was the same. Initially, some buying absorption was observed. Then some aggressive sellers stepped in. Currently, like any